Finally, this is an episode that I've wanted to do for probably the better part of a year. And what this is episode 3 of a series that I'm calling The Quest. The Quest is a video in which I do shootouts against what are generally perceived to be the best available pressings of a particular album. Today I want to talk about XTC's 1982 masterpiece. It's a double album. At least it was in the UK, and later on it was a double album in the United States. That is, of course, English Settlement. It's an album in which Andy Partridge, in interviews, stated that he was looking to expand the sound of XTC. He wanted to offer up different soundscapes, different textures, more complexity. Famously they brought in a Prophet 5 synth, so you can hear that throughout various songs on the album. Dave Gregory was expanding his repertoire as far as the electric guitar was concerned, although he did bring in the Rickenbacker 12-string on the previous album, Black Sea, but you can hear that beautiful chiming Birdsian, Beatlesque, George Harrison-esque Rickenbacker sound throughout English Settlement. I have 3 different pressings I'm going to talk about today. But yeah, this is episode 3 of The Quest. Make sure you check out the playlist if you like this kind of video. I've done a previous video on Who's Next, and then another one also on the Ronnie Lane, Pete Townsend collaboration back from 1979, Rough Mix. So check those out too. I'm really proud of these videos. The first time I heard this album on vinyl, it was via the 1986 United States reissue, which was on Geffen, and there is, you can see that now. You can see that they've got the black lettering at the top with the band name and the English Settlement. You've got this kind of Chalk Hills figure that features prominently on all the different iterations of the album. There was that Geffen label. I have a Specialty Records pressing. This sounds very, very good. From the outset with this album, it was always meant to be an almost audiophile quality recording. It was mastered at the Townhouse. It was produced by Hugh Padgham, known for his care. He had been the lead engineer for Steve Lillywhite on the 2 previous XTC albums, and those 2 had teamed up on various other fantastic recordings. But from the start, this is a great, great, great sounding record, even the 1986 reissue on Geffen. Now, a pressing to be avoided is the original US pressings, which came out on Epic. What they did is they eliminated, I think, 5 songs, and they released it as a single record. So totally eviscerated the album, in my opinion, and that is best to be avoided. It is not the true out-and-out English Settlement artistic statement that the band intended that album to be. So I would forget about the initial US pressings on the Epic label. Thankfully, in 1986, Geffen got the rights to XTC's albums and started a reissue campaign. This was, of course, after the huge success of Skylarking, and started putting things out properly again. But anyway, this is a fine sounding pressing if you can find it. It's not that easy to find. Next up is the 200 gram double 33 1/3 album released by Ape House in 2019. This came on the heels of a box set that came out in 2016. According to legend, They were working on, Ape was working on all of these Andy Partridge ratified or blessed reissues for XTC. And in trying to put together a 5.1 mix, they were looking for the stereo mixes, which are still not found as of current times, I think. But what they did find was the original master tape, and the 2016 and 2019 remastered copies were cut directly from the original master tape, and lacquers were made by mastering engineer John Dent. There is a look at the album. You can see that it's actually missing the title up here at the top, the XTC. Getting some glare here today. The band name and the actual album title. There is a look at the actual hype sticker. Hopefully that focused in. They reproduced the original artwork. This is a fantastic copy. There's a look at that label. You can see the little ape symbol there on the label as well. But otherwise, that's a beautiful full reproduction of what the original label looked like from the UK issue. Beautiful 200-gram flat vinyl. Now, what I can tell you about this pressing is it's a tremendous listen. It is almost, the soundscape is almost like a 3D soundscape. It is that wide. It's very, very intricate. It's very detailed. My only complaint with this pressing is it's a little polite. Now, eventually you definitely hear the thunderous bass in this album, the great Terry Chambers snare parts that are in this album. There's a lot of shimmering guitar. There's a lot to like with the pressing. My only complaint is it's not cut as hot as the original UK pressing. I think the UK pressing just has a little more life, a little more slam in it, and for that reason, it is my favorite pressing of the album. Now, the original UK pressings are hard to find in great condition. They're getting expensive. I believe this is still available. This is a great, great, great sounding pressing if you can't get an original UK pressing. Highly recommended. Beautiful artwork, beautiful reproduction of the recording. So why did it take me close to a year to make this video? I couldn't find a clean copy of the original UK pressing of English Settlement. Finally, within the last 2 weeks, something popped up on Discogs from a US seller, and managed to get that in my hands, and it sounds glorious. It included the original inner sleeves, which are fantastic. All of the lyrics for the songs. I love these band photographs. I love the whole kind of motif of this album. XTC are always great for that. I just did a video on Nonsuch, and similar motifs and artwork was involved in that package as well. In addition to the inner sleeves, both records came in the original, what we call UK bags, with the patent and Great Britain information there as well. There is the actual record. These are in near mint condition. Absolutely amazing records. Just incredible. There is that original beautiful green color on the labels. Kind of a thin vinyl record. This is definitely maybe 100 grams, if that. Maybe 120, but definitely not 140. But importantly, no marks, no surface noise, sounds absolutely incredible. Now, one of my favorite parts of the UK original, and there's two different versions of the UK original. I have what is called the wide spine, and it's unfortunately it was never a gatefold. Even the Ape reissues are not done as a gatefold. Hopefully that's kind of zeroing in there. But I absolutely love the textured cover with the embossed XTC in English settlement there along the top. I think there's the light that we're looking for to kind of capture that. Very, very, very subtle pattern on the record. Now that's even better. There we go. But just an amazing piece of work. You know, this is this is kind of an emotional thing to have the original pressings in your hand. There's just that extra something special about an original pressing, especially if you can find a well-preserved copy. Now this cover, I'm going to say, is probably VG. There is some creasing. There is some wear here as well. But still in fine condition. And the important thing is both of the records are in near mint condition. And what I did is I listened to several songs on the 2019 Ape reissue and then compared it to the UK original pressing. And I just found that, like I stated earlier, the UK pressing just has a little more life, a little more slam, a little more oomph involved. And I don't know, just sounds great. This was originally mastered at the legendary mastering studio in London, the Townhouse, which has sadly been converted to condos and residential real estate. But that was the famous recording studio as well, that had the great stone room where Phil Collins put down the In the Air Tonight drum solos and kind of came up with that gated reverb. Well, Steve Lillywhite, Hugh Padgham, and Phil Collins kind of working together came up with that incredible, iconic 1980s drum sound at the Townhouse in London. That's all I have today. I wanted to go through one of my favorite XTC albums. In my rankings, I usually rank this album as either number 1, 2, or 3, depending on my mood that particular month. That's another thing. If you are an XTC fan, if you're new to this channel, I did do a full ranking of all the XTC studio albums about a year ago. I'm going to drop a link to that video in the description below. Hope everyone has a fantastic rest of this kind of holiday week here in the United States. Everyone else, hope you're having a good week, and hope to see everyone back here very soon. Take care.